Hi, Genie with today's thought. First, a little summary of what I'll be talking about today so that you can decide whether you want to listen to the whole vlog or not. I hope you'll decide that you want to listen to it today because very interesting development in New York City. The trial, the so-called hush money trial, that case may be down the toilet now. It may have just imploded, and ironically, because of the testimony of one of the prosecution's witness. So that's what I'll be talking about today. So first, a little bit of what I'll be showing you a report from Fox News. It's only 25 seconds, but let me give you a little background of the case. You should be pretty familiar with it by now, but in case you're not, Trump is on trial. What he's accused of doing is falsifying, misreporting a hush money payment to a porn star, Stormy Daniels. That's not her real name is Stephanie Cliffords, but everybody refers to her as Stormy Daniels, and to keep her quiet, to not hurt Trump's chances of being elected. Now, this is all the way back to 2016. Paying hush money, number one, is legal. Number two, misreporting the expense as a legal fee to the lawyer, to Michael Cohen, who made the payment, that is a misdemeanor, and the statute of limitations has expired on that misdemeanor. The reason that Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor, is bringing the Manhattan DA is bringing it up now. He's trying to resurrect it. That's because there's two explanations. Number one, if the defendant was out of the state for a certain amount of time, while that defendant is out of state, the statute of limitations, the time on that doesn't expire. The clock stops until he returns, if he does. Now, Trump was out of the state, out of New York City, doing what? Being president of the United States. So that's because we elected Trump the president of the United States, then the statute of limitations does not expire on a misdemeanor. That's one of the explanations that I've heard. Now, the problem is that this is still a misdemeanor. It's just a bookkeeping error, basically, but it becomes a felony if it can be tied to a felony. That if the false entry was made to cover up a felony, then the misreporting, the incorrect entry, if it was deliberate, then that becomes a felony too. So what he's saying is that this expense, this payment to Stormy Daniels, and both sides, Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, both denied that this happened. There was a printed letter from Stormy Daniels saying that the affair never happened. But anyways, even if it never happened, just a reporting could be, hurt Donald Trump's campaign, and I did an earlier vlog on this. I don't want to get off on a track now, why this is not a campaign expense. It's not relevant to what I'm talking about today. It's not the definition of a campaign offense. This does not fit. That's number one. Number two, the Justice Department and the Federal Election Commission investigated this allegation, and both of those agencies decided against charging Trump with a campaign finance violation. So there is he hasn't been convicted of a campaign finance violation. And the Manhattan DA, that's a local position. He has no jurisdiction over a federal crime. So he can't come and charge Trump with a federal crime when you have two federal. Well, he has no authority in any case. But what I want to get to today, what this video I'm going to show you has to do with this whole case and why it may be destroying the case. The witness is David Pecker. This is his third day of testimony. Now, David Pecker is the editor or publisher, owner of the National Enquirer. Now, what happened was there was not an actual hush money payment. Here's some money, Stormy Daniels. Don't say anything about this. That would be a non-disclosure agreement, and that's not what happened. It's what was called, well, what the essence of what happened was that David Pecker bought the exclusive rights to Stormy Daniels' story about this alleged affair. And what happened was he bought the story, and it was an exclusive agreement, as I just said. So Stormy Daniels could not talk about the case. It was the exclusive rights were sold to the National Enquirer. But the National Enquirer, I think it's called Catch and Kill. That's what this is being called. But what he did was he did not, or what he didn't do was publish the story. He didn't publish the story. So that's what, and he did this with Karen McDougal, to a former playmate, a Playboy playmate, and he testified that he's done this with other celebrities or politicians too, I believe. But the point is about Trump that he would pay for their stories to give them money and then not publish the stories. In other words, to cover it up. Now, what you're going to see in this video, the allegation is that Trump instructed David Pecker to do this catch and kill, to buy the rights to these stories and then not publish them, and that this should have been reported as a campaign finance expense. And because it wasn't, that therefore there's a violation of the campaign finance laws. Now, as I've been saying, that alone, this case, you have liberal legal experts on MSNBC and on CNN just pointing out all the flaws in the case. It's just an absurd case. It's just to convict Trump of something in Manhattan, in a venue where at least 85% of the people in 2020 and 2016 voted against Donald Trump, voted for another candidate. So the idea is to convict him, and then Trump would win on appeal, but the appeal would not happen until after the election. So in other words, you could be Trump, Joe Biden, you're running the campaign, and you could call, I'm campaigning against, or I'm running for president against convicted felon Donald Trump. And so that's what they want. And then as almost certainly the decision, the verdict, if he's found guilty, would be reversed after the trial. Well, too late. The election is over. Trump is in his late 70s, pushing 80. The odds that he would ever run again are very small. So that was the idea. But now, with this long introduction, because you need this to understand the import of the video that I'm going to show you. Now, here's the video.
Pecker also said when he spoke to Trump about Trump reimbursing Michael Cohen for paying adult film actress Stormy Daniels, Trump told him he had no idea what Pecker was talking about. Pecker testified again about purchasing the lifetime rights to former Playboy model Karen McDougal's story as well. He said he did that in part because he and Cohen had concerns it would hurt Trump's campaign. Notably, he did not say those concerns came from Trump himself.
Now do you see why what you just saw, that report, why that is so important? Because you just heard David Pecker that Trump knew nothing about this, that this whole idea of this catch and kill, this idea of buying the stories, the exclusive rights to a story from Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, and then not publishing it, that it was an idea hatched by David Pecker and Michael Cohen. Now, Cohen, the idea is that they were the ones that had this idea, not Trump. It wasn't an idea that came from Trump. And when David Pecker talked about reimbursing Michael Cohen, that Trump knew nothing about it. He didn't know what Pecker was talking about. So you see how that blows up the whole case. Now, what could happen, or what probably will happen, is that Cohen will take this stand and contradict what Pecker said and say, well, no, it was Trump's idea. Trump told me to do it, yada, yada, yada. But you have to remember that Cohen is a convicted perjurer, more than once, convicted perjurer, and tax offense too. He was disbarred and he served jail time. So who are you going to believe, right? David Pecker, or are you going to believe a convicted perjurer, Michael Cohen? So that's why I'm saying this really could blow up the whole case. I'm surprised that Fox News, as far as I know, is the only one that is reporting this, but that I could see the summation to the jury. You have testimony from David Pecker that Donald Trump knew nothing about this. So again, this was legal, what was done, but the idea of that Trump was trying to cover up a felony that is not a felony, that he wasn't convicted of, that the FEC and the Justice Department decided not to prosecute, it's just another nail in the coffin of this ridiculous case. And I guess that's my thought for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Your comments, as always, are welcome below the video in the comment section. That's why it's called the comment section. But I won't share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it, but maybe to Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in that hush money case. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.